Hello, my name is Patricia McGovern with the League of Women Voters of San Francisco. I'm here today to discuss Proposition E, a ballot measure that the citizens of San Francisco will vote on November 2nd.
Proposition E is a measure that would allow eligible San Francisco residents to register to vote the same day as a municipal election. The current 15-day registration deadline would continue to apply to all combined federal, state, municipal, and district elections.
I'm now here with Elisa Faranzena from the San Francisco Young Republicans and an opponent to Proposition E. Why do you oppose this measure?
Well, our organization opposes this measure, first of all, because it creates a separate set of rules for elections that are city only, as opposed to the ones that have state and federal on them too. Also, because it opens the door to massive voter fraud, and because it will add a significant amount of cost to each election and time that the Department of Elections is going to have to spend on each election going forward. In terms of the potential for voter fraud, right now the way voter registration works is that after you register, the Department of Elections forwards the information to the Secretary of State, which needs to confirm that the name you provided on your voter registration card actually matches the driver's license number or the last four numbers of your social security number you provide on the form. If you register on election day, there's no way to confirm that those numbers actually match the names. So we could potentially have somebody going around and registering at various polling places around the city, voting multiple times, and this could create a big problem. Also, there's nothing in the legislation that actually states that that type of vote would need to go on a provisional ballot. Assuming that it does go on a provisional ballot, still that dramatically increases the cost of the election, because the Department of Elections needs to go through and verify each one of those provisional ballots to make sure that we don't have multiple votes from the same person or votes from people who aren't real people. So the Department of Elections is going to have to spend a lot of time, energy, and money to go through and verify all of those. In the past, the amount of time you had to register before an election was actually 29 days. And about a decade ago, we changed that to 15 days before the election. And when that happened, the amount of provisional ballots increased dramatically.
How do you think this will impact San Francisco elections?
Well, we believe that if this measure goes into effect, the amount of provisional ballots is going to shoot up again. And the Department of Elections is going to have to spend even more time, even more money, verifying provisional ballots that are, frankly, unnecessary to even have in the first place. Also, elections need to be certified 30 days afterwards by the Secretary of State. And if we have this new flood of provisional ballots, the time spent on that may even exceed the 30 days, and then we wouldn't have the election certified in time, and positions could actually go vacant.
Thank you. We'll now hear from a proponent of Proposition E. I'm now here with Supervisor Ross Mercarimi, a proponent of Proposition E. Ross, why do you support this measure?
Well, first I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this educational forum. I sponsored Proposition E, and the high majority of the Board of Supervisors and many Democratic clubs like the Democratic County Central Committee and Union Labor, etc., have also come to rally around Proposition E because we believe that it's our job to do everything we can to try to enhance participation in our election system. 8 states in the United States and the District of Columbia over the last 8 years have adopted same-day election voter registration. And those 8 states in the District of Columbia have all demonstrated that there is real added value and benefit, no detriments, no negatives, for increasing and encouraging, motivating voter interest and registration. 3 to 7% is the average voter turnout. That's important to San Francisco because we have often many elections, but in the last 10 consecutive municipal-only elections, the average voter turnout has only been almost 37%. That's pretty low considering the expense that we often afford in administering these elections. So with the proof of the other states that have shown all the positives, we went to the Secretary of State, Deborah Bowen's office, and our own elections director to make sure, would this work well for San Francisco? And the answer is thumbs up. So I'm happy that we're pursuing this. I believe that California will follow suit, but good for San Francisco for being the first city in the state to actually come this close to making it happen.
Great. If passed, how do you think this will impact San Francisco elections?
Well, obviously, we want to make sure that there are no unintended consequences and any kind of hidden cost. And so we see, and the explanation both from City Controller as well as from the Department Elections Director, see really no extra costs, and those extra costs would be relative as you would see in any kind of enhanced or increased voter participation in any election. So we think that that's a good thing. We also want to make sure that we're protected against fraud. And learning from the other 8 states and the District of Columbia and how they've enacted this, we believe that we're well poised technologically and administratively to make sure that there would be no adverse effects, no unintended consequences, no fraud.
Great, thank you.
Pleasure.
I hope that was informational. Please visit the League of Women Voters website at www.sfvotes.org for more election materials. And remember, don't forget to vote on November 2nd.